I'm Lisa from Travel House, and here with me is Marlene, who also works in our groups department. And then with me is Lucy, and she's our Norwegian sales rep. Okay, so we're going to briefly talk about the trip. I'm going to just quickly go over the pre and post, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lucy, and she's going to talk all about the cruise. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. It's informal. So let's get started. On February 3rd, we're going to depart from this area, probably maybe Generations or Franconia Heritage. It'll be decided later. And we'll take the bus down to Philadelphia Airport, okay? We're going to take, as of right now, it's United. You do have to change planes going to Honolulu. Unfortunately, nobody is not stopped in Philadelphia, so, okay? We're going to get in there late afternoon. That night is at your leisure, okay? We're going to be staying at the Outrigger Waikiki on the beach, so it's right in the center of Waikiki. You'll be able to get around easily from there. Honolulu's like a big town. There's public transportation. You can walk a lot of places, and there'll be a lot to do. There's a marketplace there. You'll find plenty to do, okay? We're going to stay overnight. You can acclimate. We have partial ocean view rooms. We're going to get up the next morning. Now, the next day is going to be a long day. We're going to get up early in the morning, check out of the hotel. The bus is going to come get us. They're going to put your luggage on the bus, and then you're going to do a day of sightseeing. We're going to do Pearl Harbor, and then we're going to do an island tour. Probably with like a stop at Gold Plantation, and then a couple other stops along the way and up along the North Shore and that kind of thing. At the end of the tour, which will probably be 4 or 5 o'clock, it'll be in time to board the ship. They're going to drop us off at the ship with your luggage, okay? And then you're going to start on your cruise. So that's what Lucy will talk about. On the flyer, yes?
When they go to Pearl Harbor, what part of Pearl Harbor are they doing?
You're going out to the memorial.
Arizona? Or they're not doing the submarine or the Missouri? Or
No, we're doing the Arizona, and then we were going to do an island tour.
Okay.
Yeah. When you go to Pearl Harbor, and again, this will be in all your documentation. You won't be able to take bags and stuff because of security and that kind of thing. But we'll have the bus, so you can leave whatever you want on the bus because the drivers normally stay with the bus. Okay? So a lot of those details we'll go over at the document meeting 2 weeks to 10 days before the trip. We'll set up at night. We'll all get together, and we'll go over all the details of the trip. Okay? So you're going to get on the cruise. All your meals are included on the cruise. You're going to do a 7-night cruise of Honolulu, or the Hawaiian Islands. At the end of the cruise, we're going to get off. We're going to go to the airport, and we're going to take a short inter-island flight over to Maui. Okay? Once on Maui, we're going to transport to the hotel, which is the Kanapali Beach Hotel, which I'll let Tish tell you about in a second because she's actually stayed there. It's one of the most Hawaiian hotels on the island. At the hotel, you are in an oceanfront room, okay? That night, we will be going to a luau, which should be fun. Everybody should do a luau while you're in Hawaii.
Been to that.
Yes, exactly. And then the next morning, you're going to have your day free. So you can do an all-day tour. I'll have public excursions that if you want to book some, you can book some. We'll send you options later. You can spend the day at the beach. You can go off on your own. You can do a day car rental. That day, it's your last day in Hawaii, so it's up to you what you choose to do. Okay? And then we're going to transfer to the airport the last morning, and we'll come back on our flight home. Now, the flight is an overnight flight, so you leave the evening of the 13th, and you don't get back until the 14th. Okay, they're always overnight flights coming home. So keep that in mind. Again, we have to change planes. The hotel will probably have you check out earlier in the day, like 11, 12, but they'll hold your bags until we have to get ready to leave for the airport. So then you can have lunch at the hotel. If you bring your bathing suit, you can go swimming and then just change in public facilities that they have there, whatever you choose to do that day. Okay? And Tish, what did you think of the Kanapali Beach Hotel?
I loved it. I've stayed at the Kanapali twice, I think, now, because my son lives on Maui, so that's where we go. It's in a great location, first of all. It's a whole row of different hotels, and they have transportation between the hotels. There's lots of different places to eat. The Kanapali it's right on, everything's on the beach, so it's right on the beach. And if you like to snorkel, if you bring your, you can rent snorkel and mask, or you can bring your own, and you can just walk up. There's a couple hotels, and there's great snorkeling there. I must tell you that the last time I snorkeled there, I did get terrified by a giant turtle who swam from behind me, and all my son could hear was me screaming through the snorkel. Because this was a big turtle, you know, and then all I could think of was, this turtle's gonna come past me again, I know it. And then everybody goes, you know what, the turtles are so friendly that they just kind of swim in and out, and it's great. So it's a fabulous location. It's next to a mall, and like I said, they have transportation that'll take you into, that's in Kaanapali, and the next little town that's really cool is Lahaina, and they have transportation that will take you into Lahaina, where there's all kinds of galleries and cool stuff to do, and you can go whale watching if you want on that free day. That'd be a good time to go whale watching. The whales are going to be there while we're on the ship. The whales are going to be all over the place because they come down in late January and February to breed and to give birth. So they have their nurseries there, and it's just amazing to see the whales. Just like when I went whale watching, I almost jumped over the boat because I just wanted to be with these humpback whales. They were so magnificent. So it's very cool.
Now you will be doing Maui while you're on the cruise, which Lucy's going to talk about. But we wanted to give you more time at the end. Maui actually is one of my favorite islands. It's just gorgeous. You're driving along, the ocean's on one side, the mountains are on the other side. It's just an amazing island, and there's lots to do. So that's why we decided to go back at the end. And hopefully you'll be able to do whale watching, because that was one of the points in booking it during February, because Tish wanted to take advantage of the whale watching. Okay, so I'm going to turn you over now to Lucy, and she's going to talk about the big, long, important part of the trip.
Thank you everyone, my name is Lucy. When I spoke to Lisa, she said, make sure you talk about the destination, you know, Hawaii, because, you know, many of you are booking this trip because of the destination. But of course, cruising makes it a lot better because you're unpacking once, it's very convenient. You're on the ship enjoying everything about the ship, the amenities, in the evening, and then during the day, you're exploring the islands, and that's what you should be doing. You know, you should be out really immersing yourself in the culture of Hawaii and really engaging and experiencing. It's all about that. So if you guys have any questions during the presentation, sure.
What's the weather like in early February?
It's 80 in the 80s. That's the average during the year. That really is the average in the 80s. I was just on the Pride of America in Hawaii in August of this past August, and it was hot, very hot. So, yeah, again, it was probably like in the 90s in August. It was a bit humid. So you're going to experience some nice average temperatures in Hawaii during that time. Now, Tish, she'll chime in because she's been in Maui a couple times. I was in Maui in the early 90s, but again, I was back in August, so that's been my second time. But this is your first time in February?
No, it's not my first time in winter. And what I found, because my son lives on Maui, that's why I've been there a few times. There are 83 different climates on the island of Maui. So depending on where you are is, you know, if you go up further into the mountains, obviously it's going to be cooler. Another thing that has to come into play are the trade winds. The trade winds are not blowing, it's hotter. But usually around this, there's certain like parts of the island where we're going to be staying in Maui. It's always beautiful. It's always dry and it's always beautiful. And where my son lives on the other side of the island, you know, he's up higher and they get like rain every day for a little bit. That's why you get all those beautiful tropical flowers and stuff. But where we're going to be, it's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cold and snowy here, and we're going to just be laying in the sun and enjoying it.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I just have one little question
No
before you
problem.
even start.
Sure.
How's the water when the boats are moving in February on the ship? When you're on the ship, how's the water? Is it nice and calm? Is it rough?
You know, I went in August and it was calm, and there was actually a storm brewing in August. And what's great about cruising is that when there is some type of storm, we can alternate, we can change the route. Instead of, for this in August, instead of starting the next day in Maui, we had to actually go reverse. So we started in Kauai, from Kauai, and then we ended in Maui. So,
My fear is seasickness.
Well-
If it
well,
starts
if
to
you want to
go.
make, well, it's a good sized ship. It's about 2,500 passenger ship. What I would recommend is make sure you take all the precautions before you get on. Is this your first time cruising?
No,
Okay.
I've been to Bermuda. Went off from New York to Bermuda.
That's a lot rockier than what you're gonna get in Hawaii.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah,
Okay,
Atlantic
good
is
to know.
all right.
There is a medical facility on the ship,
Always
but
good. I used it at good at Bermuda.
in every ship there is a medical facility. So we have that, and also just make sure you take your precautions. Make sure you take your you have what you need. If you have motion sickness, that's what I do recommend. Everyone's different when it comes to motion sickness. So let me start.
It's calmer than Bermuda, because that part of the Atlantic gets really, from New York to Bermuda, it can get really, really rough. I've actually cruised Hawaii when I did it years and years ago, and it wasn't, I might have had one rough day where I kind of felt it, but I'm not prone to motion sickness, but it's nothing compared to what you get up in this part of the water.
Yeah, and again, when I was in August, honestly, I didn't feel any motion. It was perfect. Because they're really taking the time sailing from one island to the next. They want you to enjoy it, so they're not rushing from one island. They're really taking the time to go from one island to the next. Okay, you're welcome. So why cruise Hawaii? So how many of you have been to Hawaii?
So if you let me know, I
Okay,
can look it
so
up and get back
if
to
you've
you.
been, then you
At
certainly,
the end of the
you can
email,
chime
please
in.
give me the phone number.
This is great.
I'll look
So
it up
why
and
cruise
give you
Hawaii?
different
Well,
options to show you.
Okay, good.
one thing, it's very convenient. It's very safe. It's a year-round destination. The current temperature is usually the average in the 80s. Lots of airlift. No hassle with inter-island flights. So you're cruising, you're sailing, you don't have to fly from one island to the next. Unpacking once. And we're the only cruise line in Honolulu all year round visiting. It's a 7-day itinerary, 4 islands, which is awesome. So we have that. So there's 2 overnights in Maui and Kauai. No passport required, which is awesome. And then you have the options, the pre and post cruise, which you have going on. Now I have a quick video that I will show you, and then I'll talk more about the destinations.
Lush, vibrant, and absolutely gorgeous, Hawaii is a tropical oasis that's ready to be discovered. And no one lets you capture the pure spirit and soul of the Aloha State like Norwegian Cruise Line, awarded Best Hawaii Itinerary 8 years in a row by Porthole Magazine. Brush up on your hula moves and step aboard Pride of America, the only ship sailing a round trip from Honolulu year-round. And since only Norwegian visits 4 islands in 7 days, with overnights in Maui and Kauai, you're on an enchanting Hawaiian island each and every day. And now you can spend even more time in paradise before your cruise with our new 4-day Hawaii cruise tour, Oahu Explorer. Hang 10 on one of Hawaii's world-famous beaches. Explore like a pioneer with a helicopter tour over an active volcano. Shake it like you mean it at an authentic luau. Or idle like an islander with a delicious Mai Tai as you take in the stunning mountain views. When you cruise like a Norwegian, you get more choices, more unforgettable moments, more opportunities to discover something new. And with Pride of America's multi-million-dollar makeover, you can now island hop in more style and comfort than ever before, thanks to added guest favorites like our signature Brazilian steakhouse, Moderno Churrascaria. Plus, more great upgrades from bow to stern, including more suites and studios for solo travelers. Now you'll get to experience the best from our fleet as you journey through paradise. More choices of what to do and see with the freedom to do it your way. That's the beauty of freestyle cruising. Make your vacation your own and cruise like a Norwegian.
Okay, so what do you think?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, I'm ready too. So yes, the islands of Aloha. So let's talk about the islands. So you'll be departing on Saturday from Honolulu. As you can see, the itinerary, you're right here in Honolulu, then you're in
Kahului.
Kahului, yes. And then Hilo, which is this is the big island, and then Kona, and then to Kauai, and then you were sailing along the Nepali coast, and there's a wonderful narration on the ship of the Nepali coast, about half hour. Beautiful photo opportunities because everyone's on the deck and overlooking and taking pictures of the Nepali coast. Very rugged and lush and green. In Oahu. So you're going to embark there and disembark. As you know, Honolulu is Hawaii's capital and the biggest city. It's very, very metropolitan. It's a walking area of restaurants, shopping. It really is called a gathering place because one thing, there's just so much to do. There's also the Pride of America docks near the Aloha Tower, which is a legendary structure that was welcomed cruise passengers since 1926, the Aloha Tower. And it departs at 7 p.m. for better access for flights. So as you can see, we have here, this is the North Shore area, the Honolulu, you have the Waikiki, Pearl Harbor located. This is probably not the clearest slide, but this gives you an idea of what you're going to embark and see. Again, there's just so much going on in Honolulu, and then with Pearl Harbor, you'll be able to experience that as well. Waikiki Beach, when I went in August, there's a lot of people. Because again, it's very metro, it's a city, and you can also explore the famous North Shore, and as the North Shore is famous for surfing. So, and also they're known to have along the way when you're stopping and you're doing maybe a tour of North Shore, they have shrimp trucks. So I don't know if anyone experienced any of the food trucks, but they're known for their seafood, the shrimp trucks, very fresh. Then you can explore the Polynesian Cultural Center if that is part of the tour. It's the #1 visitor attraction with villages and exhibits, really representing all the island cultures of Hawaii, Fiji, and others. There's also probably a Grand Island tour that you're going to be doing, and you visit everything from Diamond Head to the pineapple plantations. And that's one thing about the islands, there's always a pineapple plantation. Maui, I remember I did a tour of the pineapple plantation. So again, there is lots to do. So then you're in days 2 and 3, you're in Maui. When I was in Maui, I did the Road to Hana, which is famous. It really is a wonderful drive to the Road to Hana because you end up at Haleakala, how do you pronounce it?
Haleakala.
Yes, Haleakala. I am so glad Trish is here. Haleakala
Don't
Mountain.
ask me anything outside of Maui.
So again,
That's a volcano.
yeah, it is a volcano. It's the highest peak volcano. With the Road to Hana, I remember what we did was we had an audio cassette. This was back in 1998. I'm in the car, and you stop during your trip up to the road to Hannah. You go and visit black sand beaches, of course, waterfalls. It really is very picturesque. So I do recommend that you do that. It is a long day. You start very early in the morning. People have done bike rides right from the mountain of the volcano down. So yes,
Unless you are really a good cyclist, don't
Yeah.
even think about it.
Right. So again, Maui, it's known for some beautiful beaches, great beaches, and whale watching and hiking, shopping, of course. So it arrives at 8 a.m. and departs at 6 p.m. the next day. And also in Maui, this is a map of Maui, of course. You can do everything from snorkeling. We also have Mawakini, which is great for snorkeling, and they have the turtles. Again, the whale watching, and Kanapali Beach, which is very popular. Lahaina, I did some great shopping in Lahaina, which is more of a whaling fishing village, but restaurants and shopping, very walkable. Lahaina. What I did, and again, this is just what I did, I rented a Jeep in Maui. So I rented a Jeep, and then the next day, because we're an overnight in Maui, we left the Jeep at the port, then the next day at the pier, the next day just got on the Jeep and went on my merry way. So that was nice, and you can also do that with Hawaii too. But again, horseback riding. Sure.
Yeah.
Good
No,
question.
I was going to ask you, where do they dock in Kahului? Do they dock in Kahului?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not portaging into Lahaina.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So helicopter rides. Helicopter rides are very popular in Hawaii, especially in Kauai, because again, it's just the views and just the volcanoes, and we'll talk more about that as well. So then on day 4, you're in Hilo. And Hilo, again, it really is a quiet place. It's the big island. You have Hilo and you have Kona, known for Volcanoes National Park, where you see Mount Kailua. I can't pronounce these, and I apologize. But again, you go and see Akakaka Falls. That's me in the picture. Actually, this is Rainbow Falls. But it was just in August, and just to see everything, you definitely have to take plenty of pictures. So the big island with Hilo, it really is a tropical town. It really is a quaint town, and I actually got on. It was a hop-on, hop-off kind of tour bus. That's what I did in Hilo, and we stopped at the botanical gardens, the Japanese botanical gardens. We drove into town of Hilo. Again, it really is not as developed as Honolulu that you might experience, and people love that. They love the fact that it's very relaxing, and they say it's more of a sleepy town. But again, so for this, the ship arrives at 8 a.m. and departs at 6 p.m. And of course, Rainbow Falls. You can also experience a scenic drive. It's called the Hamakua Coast. So it's wonderful, very picturesque. You can stop and see the waterfalls. There's lots and lots of waterfalls. You also, another area is the Astronomy Center. It's great for families and kids. It's the largest astronomy center in Hawaii. And then we have the Rainforest Zoo, which is the only rainforest zoo in the United States because of the animals that they have. It's very tropical. And we have also the largest brewing company on the Big Island as well. Craft beers, if you love craft beers. And then there's also a farmer's market. And I believe the farmer's market is open 2 days a week depending. And the farmer's market, lots of produce, vegetables. They also have arts and crafts. So again, just a couple of things that you may want to do while you're in Hilo. In Kona, I'm sure you heard of the Kona coffee. So when you're in Kona, you definitely can by Kona Coffee. And macadamia nuts are very popular in Hawaii as well. So you get to explore Kona. When we got off, what we did is we just went, again, a hop-on, hop-off bus. Right when you get on the pier, and they have shopping, but you can take a shuttle right to the beach. A lot of beaches are called national parks or state parks in Hawaii, but they have, the beach area, and so that's what we did. We went snorkeling. You can bring your snorkeling gear, or you can rent. You can also rent beach chairs as well. So we did that first when we got off, when we went on to Kona. And then we did a few hours in the state park, and then we decided, let's take the shuttle and walk in town in Kona. So they have restaurants, again, they have galleries. It really is right on the water, which is wonderful. How many of you have been to Kona? Okay. How was your experience? Okay, cool.
So any of these things that you're saying are available, does everything cost money to get to it? Like,
Well, okay, so we do have excursions that you can sign up for, that you can purchase either pre-boarding when you are ready to check in, when you get your confirmation and you can start planning your excursions. You can do that pre-boarding, or you could do it while you're on board on the ship. They have excursions for for Kona, for Hilo, for Kauai, and Maui. And you will see all of your options on ncl.com, which is where you can start planning your trip. Because you're going to have your confirmation number, and you can log in, and you can start planning your trip. So, but it is all about personal preference. If this is your first time in Hawaii and you'd rather be on a guided tour and do it that way, you can certainly do that. For me personally, I just rented a Jeep in Maui, and I just did it myself only because I was in Maui before. Now, if it's your first time and you want to just do the excursions on the one day and then the next day just be on your own, it's fine. Just remember, I mean, it's a state. It's all Americans. There's nothing to worry about, nothing to be, it really is. The people are wonderful, and as long as you have a map or a GPS, and you can really explore it yourself. But yes, once you get off the ship, they'll be at the pier. There's shuttles that you can take. There's all kinds of things that you can do, and depending on where you're at, like in Kona, you can just take a walk through the town and take.
so there's shuttles at like all the piers? Really?
They're pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually it's called a hop on, hop off, and they'll tell you you can buy a ticket for the day, and you can do it that way. But again, I don't want to discourage you. If you can certainly sign up for the excursions, whether it's snorkeling or anything else like that. I'm sorry.
The excursions are all guided by someone knowledgeable and trustworthy, I imagine.
Yes,
And-
all reputable. We work with only tour operators that are licensed and professional.
And what's the range of the excursions?
As far as pricing,
financially?
it depends. There's a range of levels of activity. For example, they'll say level, and when you go into the website, they'll say level 1, level 2, level 3, depending on how strenuous. Is there a lot of walking? It'll indicate that. Also the pricing, it depends. There might be some that includes transportation. It may include lunch. It may include the gear. So there are several excursions that you'll see the difference. One may include lunch, one may not. One may say on your own. So yeah, you can do it that way. But there's excursions where you can go surfing, kayaking, really doing a grand. The one popular one is the Grand Circle tour I believe in Maui, and or Honolulu. I'm sorry, and it gives you a whole tour of the island. But they all pretty much have the same. If you go to every one, and you'll see by location, they all have a tour of the island. They all have a tour, and certainly doing a helicopter ride, maybe of a volcano, you also have that as well. There's actually even one excursion to Walmart, believe it or not. For those, yeah.
And they're
While we're
crowded.
Yeah.
while you're on this subject, can someone address the $50 per maximum 4 ports, shore excursion, credit per cabin. How would that tie into what we're discussing?
Okay, so, part of the pack, what she put together, there, you have a $50 shore excursion credit. So you get to redeem that when you, book your shore excursion. That $50 is going to be a credit on your onboard account.
And that could be used for what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Booking-
shore excursion.
booking shore excursion.
Yep.
Now, if it's $50 per port, if you don't want to do one at one port, can we carry the 50 over to another?
Now you lose it.
Okay, so it's
Yep.
use it or lose it at each port.
Exactly.
Is that $50 per person or is it $25 per person?
It says per cabin.
Per cabin.
cabin.
So for the first 2 guests,
Yeah.
25, so it's total 50.
Any cruise I was on, when you get on the ship, they will also have discussions of, there's a time when you can go where they will discuss all the different tours that are
Yes,
available.
exactly. When you get on the ship, they will announce, and there's a daily schedule. I haven't gotten to the ship part yet, but you'll receive a daily schedule. They'll announce it on the system, PA system, that we're having a meeting in the theater of all the shore excursions. That's a great way to get familiar, because you can ask questions, and that's a wonderful way
We'll
of.
have TVs in the room.
Oh, yes.
too, touch
Yeah,
on
because what they do is they record them, and they have them on the TVs of the cabins. They also will show it in a video wall or video TV of the atrium. But yeah, that's a good opportunity to do that. And we have a shore excursion desk. So there's the guest services desk and there's a shore excursion desk, and they're there to help you, to guide you. They'll even, again, if you want to rent a Jeep, they'll help you with that as well. Okay, so Kauai. So you're in Kauai for 2 days in Kauai. So Kauai, it's really very rugged, very green. There are times when it will rain in Kauai because of how it is. It's very rugged. And actually 90% of Kauai is untouched. And people love Kauai because of that. It's not very developed, and that's how they want it. And this is where you're going to see on the northwest side of Kauai, you'll see the Nepali coast. We'll sail along the Nepali coast. But Kauai is definitely known for the volcanoes and the scenic, and I recommend if you don't like, if you're okay with heights, to take a helicopter ride to really experience that. I regret I didn't do that, unfortunately, but I want to do that when I go back.
I did it. It's great.
Oh, yeah. Good. Anyone else that has ever done a helicopter ride in Hawaii? Oh, tell me about your experience.
Well, we were going over the volcano and started to erupt, so we had to land. We went like around for about a half hour, supposed to be an hour helicopter ride, and we had to land because it started to erupt.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
very
very, very scenic.
Yeah, it's very
So a lot
unpredictable. Oh,
up
good.
there.
Good. It's very unpredictable. You never know.
I flew because my son had his, he was going for his pilot's license, so he actually took a 4-seater and he took a lesson. So we were in a 4-seater plane and flew over Maui and Molokai, over to Lanai, all in that area. That was great that there was an instructor with us.
So the ship arrives at 8 a.m. and then departs at 2 p.m. the next day. Hawaii is the greenest of the islands, the most lush in all of Hawaii, and it's definitely true about that. It's the 4th most visited island, and it's the 4th largest landmass in the Hawaiian island chain. And over 90% of the island cannot be reached by road, which is definitely true. People go hiking, lots of hiking. If you notice, there are state parks all along here. So you have the Canyon State Park all along here. So those are beaches as well. So, and then you have the North Shore, and then here's the Nepali coast, and then of course the South Shore. So again, very, very rugged. Alakai Wilderness Preserve. People go camping. They do hiking in Kauai. Again, it's very lush, very green. This is where they filmed Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was filmed in Kauai and some other great movies, Indiana Jones.
How long are we on that island?
For 2 days.
Ship? 2 days?
2 days. So you're actually, it's an overnight in Maui and Kauai, and you're a day in Hilo and in Kona. So you arrive 8 a.m. and depart the next day by 2 p.m. So those are the destinations. Those were the islands that I mentioned, and I just want to talk more. I want to talk a little bit about the cruise ship and what we've done. Actually, we just did an enhancement of Pride of America in March, this past couple months ago. And we did some great enhancements for you, updated the furniture, the flooring of the restaurants, all the public space, the lounges, the specialty restaurants, the bars. So you're going to be very pleased with the look of the Pride of America. The Pride of America is a U.S. flag ship. So we don't have a casino on the Pride of America. So I just want to remind you of that. And because it's a U.S. flag ship, it is a colonial themed ship. So you'll notice the red, white, and blue on the outside of the ship. When you're in the ship, you're going to notice some of the restaurants. For example, the French restaurant, which is Le Bistro, is called Thomas Jefferson's. Or we have a coffee bar called John Adams. So you'll notice down the ship it is a U.S. themed ship. We also we updated the Mandra Spa as our signature spa on the Pride of America for those who love spa days or spa evenings. So we did a complete makeover of that. It's now a larger spa area. For those who want to renew their vows, anyone wants to renew their vows? Okay. Well, we have an all-board chapel with dedicated space for weddings and vow renewals. We also updated the flooring lounge area, the furniture at the pool area, and the sun deck, which is wonderful. So we updated the library. We do have a library on the Pride of America where you have access to computers. We also have a card room for those who like a quiet area, quiet place to read or just to play cards. We also did a wonderful refresh look on the bedding, furniture, on all of our staterooms. And so again, very, very good. So let me just show you some of the photos of what we've done. This is the restaurant. It's called East Meets West. It's an Asian restaurant. It's included in your voyage fare. So here we have, it's an Asian restaurant. There are some price items a la carte. If you like sushi, there are a la carte price items on the menu. However, majority of the menu, 98% or 95% of menus, it's complimentary, it's included in the voyage fare. But sushi is an additional cost. Then we have another specialty restaurant. This is Locacina, which is an Italian restaurant. So here, it's a family-style restaurant, wonderful food, everything from lasagna to all the great Italian foods that you have. So again, this is a specialty. And I mentioned about John Adams Coffee Bar. So this is just one of the coffee bars. And again, the pictures really don't do justice because you really can't see the colors, but all this has been updated and it looks wonderful. We also have a photo gallery. So for those who like to take pictures and would like to, again, every night on the Pride of America or every day, you'll have a photo opportunity to, you can certainly get dressed if you like. And that's what's great about Pride of America or even freestyle cruising on Norwegian cruise ships is that you can dress up or you can dress down. There's no pre-assigned seating times, no fixed dining times in the restaurant. You can start making your dinner reservations 90 days prior to the date. And you can also, and again, all the shows are complimentary as well on our ship, on the Pride of America. So with the photo gallery, you sit down, you can view your pictures on the computer screen, and then you can print them out and pay for them as well. I mentioned about Locacina and the Mordeno. Mordeno is a Brazilian steakhouse. It's a specialty restaurant. So that's another specialty restaurant. And how many of you have been to a Brazilian steakhouse? Okay. So a Brazilian steakhouse, it's slow-cooked meat served in a skewer. It's everything from poultry, lamb, steak, seafood, and then there's an awesome salad bar. Mordendo. So you have the salad bar for all the sides, and then of course you have the server, he'll come by, and then there's a green and a red. So you'll see it's like a coaster, and the green means the server will keep continuing coming back and serving you meat until you can't anymore, and then when you can't, you just turn it over and it's red, which means stop, no more. So this is Cagney's Steakhouse. Cagney's Steakhouse is also a specialty restaurant, and they serve steak and seafood. It is one of my favorite restaurants. It is a signature restaurant on all of our ships. We have a total of 14 ships in our fleet. And again, you know, you're going to have great steak served here. And keep in mind that when I say specialty restaurants, they have a la carte pricing on the menu, okay? So they have, and one of the choices is specialty dining.
Yeah, they have 4 specialty restaurants.
So you'll have 4 options. You'll have 4 restaurants that you can select and dine at, which is wonderful. So it's either could be Mordendo, which is a Brazilian steakhouse, or it could be Cagney's, or it could be Thomas Jefferson, which is a French restaurant, or La Cucina, you know, so 4 out of the.
Can I just get total clarification? I've never did special
Oh, yeah.
restaurant or any kind of stuff. So for the meals, we can go to these quote specialty restaurants at no additional charge.
Because it's included in your package, yes. Normally you would have to pay additional for them.
And then the other nights we
You go to the main dining rooms that are complimentary, or that East meets West.
Yeah. So complimentary dining, so what it is, the specialty restaurants, normally if you didn't have the package, you would go to Cagney's and you would order from the menu, but it's priced menu, a la carte priced menu. Like if you were going to Roost Steakhouse or Capitol Grill or to a restaurant near, you know, to any restaurant, it's a regular menu with price items. But because you have the dining package, you get to pick a starter, an entree, and dessert. Okay. Now with the complimentary dining, these are all included in the voyage fare. Okay, so you have Liberty, which is one of the main dining rooms. On all of our ships, we have up to 3 main dining rooms. So we have Liberty, which is a main dining room. It serves dinner. Then we have Key West Bar and Grill, where it's a pool bar. They sell and restaurant. They serve lunch. They serve like cheeseburgers, burgers, you know, salads and things like that. Skyline is another main dining room, and they serve dinner. So we have the Liberty and we have Skyline, which is a main dining room. Then we have Aloha Cafe, which they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a buffet-style restaurant. Okay, great food. For example, if you don't want to dine in one of the restaurants and you just want something quick and easy. Now that's what's great about freestyle cruising, because for example, I probably was, you know, at the port all day. On an island all day. You know, you get a little tired, and when I get back on the ship, maybe I just want to go to Aloha Cafe, and just grab something quick to eat, which is nice. So I don't have to worry about changing if you want to change, or you know, you go back to your cabin, refresh a little bit, and then just maybe you're in the mood for Asian food and want to go to East meets West. And then we have a 24-hour restaurant for those who have the late night munchies. So it's called Cadillac Diner, and it's very retro. It's 1950s diner. They have everything from macaroni and cheese. It's all comfort food. Okay, you have meatloaf, you have the burgers, all the good stuff.
Do you have pizza for my wife?
Yeah, pizza, fish and chips,
How about
pot pies.
spam? Spam is a big thing in Hawaiian Islands.
Spam. I don't think we.
Just what you wanted on the cruise, spam.
I don't know if we have spam on the menu. I don't remember seeing that.
They sell them on the beach, though.
Okay.
Sell spam.
Yeah. And then again, I mentioned East meets West, which is more Asian fusion, Thai, Japanese, from seafood.
All those.
Are all included in the voyage fare. Yeah. No included. But what's great about your package is that you have these, of course, the comfort, but then you also have the specialty dining. That's,
You have to make reservations ahead for the
You
ones
can
that
make
require
reservations.
slide, or you can just walk up.
You can just walk up. It really is all up to you. Some people, they want to know prior to their cruise, they want to make sure they have their reservations. If you certainly want to do that, you can start doing that. You can do it online, or you can call, and it's 90 days prior. Or you can just wing it, and once you get on the ship, you see what's available. What's great is they have kiosks, flat screen TVs, probably at every elevator bank, and you can see what restaurants are available, which is wonderful. The other thing too, for the shows, you can also make your, if you want, you can make your reservations for the shows. I didn't do that when I was on the Pride. There was always something available. We show the shows at least, there's always a show, there's a show almost every night. And they usually have an early seating and a late seating. So you can always do it before dinner or after dinner, okay? And it all depends how you feel too. You're gonna be exploring the islands, it really depends on how you feel. So the specialty dining I mentioned before. If you love French, if you love duck, you'll love Le Bistro. Thomas Jefferson Le Bistro, because there's a lot of duck on the menu of Le Bistro. Then we have Cagney's. Teppanyaki is another restaurant that's is a specialty restaurant, and it's Japanese cuisine. It's hibachi style. So if you've been to a hibachi style restaurant, it's exactly that. Rodeno is a Brazilian steakhouse serving beef, pork, lamb, I mentioned, and then La Cucina. So those are the specialty restaurants. Any questions?
Where's the seafood?
The seafood will be in Cagney's. They have seafood in Cagney's. Now also in the main dining room, good question. Also in the main dining room, and this is through feedback from our passengers, from our guests, we now have lobster in the main dining room, Liberty and Skyline. However, there are priced items. So if you would like to eat just in the main dining room and not go into specialty dining, there is a cost to eat the lobster from the main dining room menu. Okay? But everything else is complimentary.
But if you do at Cagney's and get seafood, that's not extra then, because it's part of our...
Right, exactly. So the specialty dining, you have the starter, the appetizer, the entree, and dessert. If you order 2 entrees, they're going to charge you for the extra entree. Okay?
Are there dress nights on the ship like there are on many cruises?
There aren't any formal night. There's no formal night. The men do not have to wear jackets, suits. What it is in the evening, what I find, and this is what I find, is that people may dress a little bit more because it's evening, they want to go to dinner and show. You can wear Hawaiian wear as well. Hawaiian wear, like Hawaiian shirts, not a problem. But you're not allowed to wear shorts in the main dining room or tank tops and things like that. Now, when you go into your e-docs or when you go into the website and you start planning your trip with the excursion, there is one section where it says how to pack, what to wear. And it's really neat. So you go in there and it tells you, what they recommend. But again, it's smart casual, sundress, capris,
So
in the
you're
evening.
saying wherever I eat, I have to have long pants?
Yeah, you have to have
Well,
long pants.
in the main dining rooms, yeah, like
Why?
Liberty. Like, for example, my husband, he was not allowed into the Liberty, the Skyline, because he had shorts on. He looked fine. He had but I told him, I said, they're not going to let you in. He had the boat shoes, the polo shirt, but he had the shorts up to the knee.
But you could go to the buffet.
Yeah, you go to the Garden Cafe. It's just the main dining room. Because it's a little. Yeah, so we ended up going, somewhere else. But keep in mind, you don't have to wear a suit, no tuxedo, no formal long gown. That's just more to pack, right?
That's when they brought the big sandwiches.
How many suitcases are we allowed?
You're allowed a carry-on, and I believe up to I think 2 luggages and a carry-on.
But you have to be careful of the airlines because we've got the inner island flight and the main flight. You're going to get baggage charges from the airlines.
Yeah.
What's the approximation on this?
What would you get a
Per-
baggage charge?
You know, give us an idea.
For what, the baggage charges? The carry-on is free. The check bag is normally, for the first check bag, is 25 per person each way, so 50 round trip, and then plus the inner island flight. I have to check what Hawaiian's policy is. We're on Hawaiian Airlines, so I'll have to check on that.
And then Lisa, if they have an A Advantage card, which is like through United,
The credit card?
The credit card.
That's not gonna, I have group tickets. It's not going to, they can't use
it
it.
wouldn't apply?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
How about AARP or 3 of them?
Not just, not just baggage
Anyway,
fee, sorry. Sorry, no.
So in addition to all of the restaurants that we also have plenty of lounges and bars all throughout on the Pride of America. So everything, and we also have comedy night, oh what a night. We have the Pink Champagne Bar where they, in the evening, they'll have live music. They have someone playing the piano, which is nice. They have the Napa. So there's always some type of live music on the Pride of America. When we also Mardi Gras Cabaret Lounge and Nightclub. Every night there's dancing and there's a DJ dance floor. They also have some theme nights. So for example, our signature party on every ship is the white hot party. You dress all in white. Now, that's if you pack white, you know, it's not mandatory because I didn't wear all white, okay? But that's what it's called a white hot party, and that's the signature party on the Pride of America. Okay? I mentioned in regards to some of the shows that we have, the white hot party, the pool deck party. If it's not at the pool, depending on weather, it will be in the pool deck. If not, it's at the Mardi Gras. Then we have stand-up comedy on the Pride. We have a magic show. There's always something. There's also, if you love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, they have that. It's called Oh What a Night. We also have a Hollywood musical, lights, camera, music, and then the Rockahula musical comedy. So yeah, there's plenty of shows. I didn't even get to see all of these, but again, I think I probably missed one. I think it was the Rockahula musical comedy. But I saw the Oh What a Night, which was very entertaining. The Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons as well. So I'll talk a little bit about the accommodations. We do have, for those